What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. We have some unexpected news here today. The war could be ending. Could be being the key word. There's some major news going on here with that. We're going to be talking about that here. And we have a new relief, new stimulus relief, and a tax relief for millions of Americans being discussed and actually going through here that we'll be going over in this video as well. So make sure to watch this video all the way to the end because we got some very interesting news for you guys in this video. Also, thanks for hitting the like button for us down below. First, we'll start with, could the war be ending? It's possible, although I don't trust Putin as far as you could throw him, but, well, yeah, so, but here's the latest news. Check this out.
Again, with that breaking news and a potential sign of diplomacy or success from diplomacy in the war on Ukraine, the head of the Ukrainian delegation, David Arakamia, just a short time ago in a televised interview saying draft peace treaty documents between Russia and Ukraine are at a, quote, advanced enough stage to allow for direct talks between Putin and Zelensky. We have Ali Arouzi on the ground for us in Lviv, Ukraine. Ali, good to see you. This is a major and rather unexpected development amongst all of this. What more do we know?
It certainly is an unexpected development. We weren't expecting to hear this today, but as you said, Ukrainian negotiators saying that those peace draft treaties have reached an advanced enough stage to warrant a meeting between Zelensky and Putin in person. They said that they've reached some of those drafts in those last rounds of talks, which, quite frankly, hadn't seemed to go particularly well. Nobody was hopeful that anything tangible would come out of those talks, not least of all because the Ukrainian foreign minister had warned his delegation on Tuesday when they were meeting the Russians in person not to eat or drink anything in case the Russians poisoned them. By all accounts, those meetings were cold. They didn't shake hands. So this really is a big surprise. They're saying that nothing has been put down on paper yet, but this is a verbal agreement between the two sides that Russia has agreed to many of the proposals that Ukraine has put forward, with the exception of Crimea. They said that they're not willing to talk about Crimea at all in any sort of peace talks, but still, this is a huge step forward from nothing tangible having happened in the past between the two countries. Now, they're saying that there's no date for them, but they're saying that they are potentially going to take place in Turkey. Turkey has, of course, been brokering a lot of these talks that have been going on in the past. They say may take place in Istanbul or in Ankara. We're not sure yet. But this is going to be good news if it does happen, because so far all the talks have been at working level. There's only been one series of talks between the foreign ministers of Russia and Ukraine. So at a presidential level, that's where the decisions are going to be made. That's where a breakthrough will happen if they can come to some sort of understanding with each other. And it also may be an indication that, Russia has realized that this war really is not going in its favor. They haven't been able to capture any major cities here. The Ukrainians remain in control of vast amounts of their own territory. So hopefully the Russians might be looking for a way to end this war and save face. Also, in that interview the negotiator gave on Ukrainian TV, he said that the Germans, the Italians and the Turks were willing to give the Ukrainians those security guarantees that they were looking for if they agree not to join NATO. So a lot of advances seem to have been made in a very short period of time.
Yeah, so a couple things to talk about. Apparently, this is the farthest negotiations have ever got. Apparently, they're pretty serious, but trusting Putin is another thing. And the Ukrainians don't trust him either. Apparently, in the negotiations, you heard them, the Ukrainians didn't even take a sip of anything, a sip of water. They didn't even shake hands with the Russians. So, that's probably what I would do as well. Yeah, you gotta literally take all precautions when it comes to that. Yeah. And I mean, honestly, you know, well, we've talked about this. What would it take for Russia to actually come to terms to stop the war without physically forcing them to stop the war via war? Other ways, right? Other countries coming in and physically stopping Russia, right? And we're seeing some of this that could potentially make Putin do this, like some of these. Check this out. Actually, first, I just want to kind of touch on something is that if Putin and Zelensky, the two presidents of Ukraine and Russia, happen to meet, think about how dangerous of a meeting that would be for both Zelensky and Putin. I was just kind of thinking through that. That is a very, very high stakes meeting. Very, very high stakes meeting. I would be scared to death if I was either of them. Well, of course, Putin probably thinks that he's untouchable, right? Um, but if I was Zelensky there, man, you almost gotta kind of think about what the rage that he probably feels inside towards Putin and what he has done to his people in Ukraine, and almost kind of, thinking about there's the man right across the table and what could be done. He's right there. And you also got to think, is this an assassination plot? We know that Russia has tried multiple times, dozens of times, to assassinate Zelensky. And here he would be right in person. They haven't been able to find him. Well, if he meets with Putin in person, there he is. But also, there's Putin in person. Like I said, it would be a very, very high stakes meeting. And again, you can't trust Putin as far as you could throw him. So, yeah, just kind of think that through for a moment on both sides. And they're going to have armed guards everywhere, right? Yeah, so let me just kind of set the stage of what's been going on here. Ukraine has regained full control of the capital city of Kyiv for the first time since the Russian invasion. So Russia has basically lost control of most major everything in Ukraine. They've lost control of pretty much every city that they have taken control of. Russia says that, or the United States says that they think that Russia is repositioning troops, but Ukraine says that they've regained full control of Kyiv. But they also says for any citizens there to remain at high alert and not really to go back to their homes. I mean, you could see the picture of this home here. How can you even go back to a home like that? It's literally just completely blown out. Of course, not all homes are probably like that, but um, I mean, imagine just the rebuilding time for these poor people. And remember that millions and millions of people have fled, have left, and who knows how many are even going to go back, right? You have another headline here. Ex-United Nations prosecutor urges for a global arrest warrant for Putin as more and more high-stakes authorities and countries are pushing for Putin to be called a war criminal, calling for his arrest, and more and more countries are calling for or not doing business with him as well. You can see here in Geneva, the former chief prosecutor of the United Nations War Crimes Tribunals for the former Yugoslavia and Rwanda has called for the international arrest warrant to be issued for Russian President Vladimir Putin, saying, quote, Putin is a war criminal. He told the Swiss newspaper in an interview published yesterday, and interviews given to the Swiss media to mark the release of a new book, saying that they were particularly shocked by the mass graves in the war of Ukraine and that it is the worst of the wars in the former Yugoslavia, saying, I hope to never see this again. This is unacceptable. And that if the ICC, the International Criminal Court, finds proof of war crimes on Putin, which is almost certain, you must go up the chain of command until you reach those who took the decisions. She said it would be possible to bring even Putin to account. You mustn't let go. You must continue the investigation. Who would have thought then that he would one day be judged? The other problem here is that Putin is losing customers by the week, as now the country of Lithuania is banning Russian gas imports. And remember, the entire European Union is said that they are basically dwindling down their buying of Russian oil as well, which is dozens of countries. So the problem here is that Putin is losing customers by the day. And think about all the hundreds or thousands of global countries that have basically abandoned Russia, including gas companies. Um, is anybody going to want to do business with Russia at the end of the day? Or how many companies and countries are going to want to do business with Russia at the end of the day? And that's the problem here. He's going to be left with very few allies and very few countries and companies that actually want to do business with him. And even his own countrymen think that he could be losing power here. Check this out. You could see here a former Russian official now working with an opposition leader says that Putin could lose his grasp on power within a few months. A former Russian official told CNN that Russia's elite will begin to question Putin's leadership. Vladimir Milov said officials are already concerned about Putin's aggression in Ukraine, and the officials are monitored and are afraid to communicate with each other about the policies, and said that Putin's time in office is already numbered. Quote, for the first time ever, we are moving in a backwards direction. We had a lot of difficulties in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, but we were somewhat opening to the world, and the direction was very difficult. Now Russia is being disconnected from global markets, a global financial architecture, technology, logistics, and so on. And this disconnection isn't something that's happened before, and those in positions of power recognize that, and that Putin's days are numbered. He can hang on for some time, months, but months down the road, many more people inside the system will begin questioning what he's doing. Ordinary Russians will express discontent with deteriorating economic situations, huge losses in war. This is something that Putin has never experienced. And that Russian elites will start questioning the direction of the country and if Putin is the right leader. And if we do see Russia eventually negotiate a peace treaty, that will essentially mean that Russia has lost. They didn't win the war. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Ultimately, that is what we want to see, because we surely don't want to see war continue on a battered Ukraine, the people there, and it affects the rest of the world with the price of oil, the price of gas, the price of inflation. Uh, like I said, there's no winners in this war. So no matter what it takes, we want it to be over as soon as possible. There's simply no winners in this war. So whatever it takes, let's have it end as soon as possible. A new release by the government, the Treasury, and Princeton University found that rent assistance and rent relief has helped prevent more than 1 million evictions in 2021, and it's still available here in 2022. Here's what it says. The federal government's emergency rent assistance program helped prevent more than 1 million evictions last year. An estimated 1.3 million renters avoided an eviction filing in 2021, as a result of the government's unprecedented $46.5 billion of rent relief programs and other protections. Remember, there's also mortgage assistance and utility assistance that is still available right now. I will link you to some videos on how to get this money, how to apply for this money at the end of this video. I have videos showing you how to get this money, how to apply for this money. It's completely free to do so. Rent assistance, mortgage assistance, and utility assistance. This is according to a recent analysis by Princeton University's Eviction Lab, published earlier this month. Treasury officials reported Wednesday that $30 billion in emergency rent relief was spent or obligated by the end of February, despite a slow and confusing initial rollout of the program last spring. More than 4.7 million payments were made to households since January of 2021. The Treasury expects the remainder of the funds to be exhausted by the middle of this year, 2022. And here's a perfect example of a recent story that I just came across while doing our daily research. Cash coming. Americans to receive $87.3 million in rent assistance. Find out if you apply. You can see here, this is dated March 31st. Again, I just happened to find this article, so I'm letting you guys know about it here today. It's still available. Many Americans are set to receive part of $87.3 million set aside for rent assistance. This is just for New Jersey, actually. But again, this is available in all parts of the country. This particular article is just focusing on New Jersey. New Jersey has already doled out $625 million in federal emergency rent assistance funds. And like I said, it's available pretty much all across the country. So 87 more million dollars has now been set aside for rent assistance in New Jersey. And there's a kind of a new round, like a second round or maybe even a third round going out in parts of states across the country right now. The state is now getting an additional $87 million to help those who still need help paying bills. This extra money will be used to process the state's waiting list of rent relief applications. That's why I've said, I've been telling you, if you've been watching my show here for a while, I've been saying, do the rent assistance, watch my video, apply. It might take a little bit of time, but get on the waiting list. If you haven't done it yet, watch my video showing you how to do it. Get on a waiting list, and it might take some time, but it's literally money that is provided from the last stimulus package. For people like you, people like anybody, people like people in need, right? So and this is stimulus money. It's from the last stimulus package. So and honestly, most people don't know about it. So you know about it because you watch my show. That's what I'm here to do, help out as many people as possible. The funding is apparently for those who are currently in line to get rent relief. So, and again, this is for all states. So hopefully you've watched my show in the past and you've applied. And again, I have a video showing you how to do this that I'll link you to at the end of this video. In addition to this program, I also have links down below in the description of this video as well. Okay, you can just look for that now if you want to. It's you got to click the little down arrow next to the title and open up the description. In addition to this program, New Jersey is also launching a $500 million eviction prevention program that is designed to help tenants pay their rent for up to 2 years. So that sounds like for the next 2 years as well. This is just one state. There's programs like this in all 50 states, guys. In all 50 states. This particular article is just focusing on New Jersey. All right. Yeah, my wife says they're giving the money out either way, so it might as well be to you. So don't feel bad for I got cat hair flying around here. Our little Snowy. Um, they're giving it out either way, so it might as well be to you. So, like I said, it's just like a stimulus check. So instead, it's rent assistance. Most of the time, they send it to your landlord. In the case of rent assistance, in the case of mortgage assistance, a lot of times they send it to your mortgage or the bank. Sometimes they'll send it to you directly. There's some weird cases like sometimes the in some states, if your landlord doesn't want to participate, sometimes they'll send it to you directly. Each state is completely different. Each state has different rules. Some states require you to be behind on your rent. Some states do not. I know this for a fact because I've literally read your comments. I've had thousands of people that watch this show that have already gotten rent assistance. Okay. And some people have not been behind. Some people are just low income. So if you're low income, that's why I say just apply. And if you don't get it, hey, at least you tried and it was worth an hour of your time. But if you get it, you could be like, hey, Jimmy, thank you so much. I still get comments to this day of people that say, I literally get comments like pretty much like every day or two or something like that. Of people say, I just had a comment the other day that said something like, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here's just the most recent comment that I seen here. Just a public comment. So people leave comments like this publicly for you to see. Anybody can see them. They're just public comments that people leave here on the channel. This is from Ellie. Ellie says, "Hey Jimmy, I just received an email that my rent assistance that I applied for in last July and then was redone in October has been approved, and they are paying $2,115 of arrears and then another $2,115 of forward assistance. So that looks like $4,230 of rent assistance. Sometimes, I don't know, this exact situation is just that comment I happened to see 13 hours ago, or that's when the comment was made. But sometimes the rent assistance they'll do it for 3 months or 6 months, and then you can reapply and get it again if rent assistance is still available. I've seen some people that say that they works like that. Sometimes you can get it for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. Again, each state is different. So again, I love seeing success stories like this of people from our community. And this stuff goes on. I see comments like this almost every day, almost every day. So I urge you guys, if you're low income, if you're behind on your rent, even if you're not behind on your rent, or if you know any family members that are on disability, if you're on SSI, SSDI, if you're even if you're just low income, apply for this because you never know if you get approved and you get $4,000 in rent assistance, like Ellie did here. You'll be like, "Hey, that was amazing." It was literally like winning a scratch off lottery ticket or winning the pick 4 lottery, right? It's amazing. And that's one of the main reasons I started this YouTube channel was to help people. So I originally started this YouTube channel to help people build businesses with their Amazon business, and then I kind of changed focus with when stimulus came out. I seen that a lot of people's YouTube was just it was a real hot topic, and I was like, let me make videos on that because a lot of people are watching videos on that. And here I am helping thousands of people every single day with information like this. So, and in fact, watch the next video I have as well because there's a lot of, I didn't get to it in this video, but I'll get into it in the next video. There's a lot of states with brand new information that I need to talk about of new tax relief and stimulus relief that is just passing now that is going to be more relief for millions of people here as well. So make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on new videos. Remember, the new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click here to watch my newest video next. This bottom video is how to apply for utility assistance. You can get hundreds or thousands of dollars in free utility assistance. This top video is how to apply for rent assistance. It shows you how to do it. And this bottom video is how to apply for homeowners assistance. So click on one of those videos next. It'll show you how to find these programs in your area. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.